there's Pink Cadillac and Natalie Cole.
BBC Radio 2.
We out of here. It's going to be Sarah next. We are back tomorrow with Rowan Atkinson.
With the BBC News at 5 o'clock, this is Jason Kay. Rail talks have collapsed and a second mass walkout will happen tomorrow. The Taliban in Afghanistan have asked for international help after a powerful earthquake killed hundreds of people. And Kate Bush says it's very special that young people have discovered her thanks to a 37-year-old song. Rail workers will hold another strike in England, Wales and Scotland tomorrow after talks between the RMT union and bosses failed to produce a breakthrough. The RMT accused the Transport Secretary Grant Shapps of wrecking the negotiations by refusing to allow Network Rail to withdraw redundancy threats. Mr Shapps said that was a total lie. Here's our business correspondent, Ben King.
The RMT spent hours today in talks with Network Rail and the 13 train operating companies affected by the strike, but the discussions collapsed shortly after 3 o'clock. There had been optimism about a possible breakthrough after Network Rail suggested the talks got close on Monday to an acceptable deal for all parties. But the union said it would continue its campaign for a settlement that delivered job security and a pay rise. The Rail Delivery Group, which represents the train operators, said it was very disappointed the strikes were going ahead and advised people to stay home if possible and check timetables carefully if they did travel.
The cost of living is continuing to rise at its fastest pace in 40 years. The latest figures show that the rate of inflation reached 9.1% last month, partly because of higher food and fuel prices. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, insists that the government's using all the tools at its disposal to ease the pressure.
Firstly, the Bank of England will act forcefully to combat inflation. Secondly, the government will be responsible with borrowing and debt so we don't make the situation worse and drive up people's mortgage rates any more than they're going to go up. And lastly, we're improving the productivity of our economy, improving the supplies of energy we have and moving people off welfare into work.
Jessica Collins, a 29-year-old nurse and mother of two, says NHS workers are struggling.
They've had sort of up to 20% of real terms pay cuts, and it's always sort of just behind. And unlike the train drivers, etc., who can strike and sort of take a stand, we're sort of torn between knowing that the best thing to do is to look after our patients, but also knowing that we can't walk out and leave our patients, so we're sort of stuck.
Aid agencies say they're scrambling to get emergency assistance to southeastern Afghanistan to help survivors of a powerful earthquake which has killed at least 1,000 people. Many more were injured in the tremor, which struck near the city of Khost. Pictures from the worst-hit province of Paktika show landslides and flattened mud-built houses. Sam Mort from the UN children's agency UNICEF in Kabul says the devastation is extreme.
We have got our mobile health and nutrition teams in the affected district giving first aid to those who are injured. We've also got aid trucks on the way with supplies such as hygiene kits and blankets and tents and tarpaulins. Right now it is throwing it down with rain, which is complicating the rescue efforts.
Health officials are urging people to make sure they're fully immunised against polio because the virus has been found in multiple sewage samples in London. The UK Health Security Agency says the discoveries were made during the past 4 months. Our medical editor, Fergus Walsh, has more details.
Scientists believe the virus originated from someone who was immunised abroad with the live oral polio vaccine given in drops, and they then shed traces of the vaccine-like polio virus from their gut. It seems likely there's since been some spread of the virus in the community between closely linked individuals. No actual case of polio has been detected, but the UK Health Security Agency is urging parents to ensure young children are vaccinated.
A national monument to the Windrush generation has been unveiled at Waterloo Station in London. The statue features a man, woman and child standing on top of suitcases in recognition of the thousands of people who left the Caribbean for the UK. In a message, the Queen paid tribute to what she called the profound contribution of the Windrush pioneers. Kate Bush has been speaking about her return to the top of the UK singles chart with Running Up That Hill, 37 years after it was first released. The track was recently featured in the Netflix sci-fi drama Stranger Things, and in a rare interview, the singer told the BBC's Woman's Hour programme she was thrilled by the reaction.
This is a whole new audience. You know, in a lot of cases, they've never heard of me, and I love that. The thought of all these really young people hearing the song for the first time and discovering it, well, I think it's very special.
In the city, the 100 share index closed down 63 points at 7,089, and the weather, it'll be another mainly dry and clear night in England and Wales, cloudier skies in Scotland and Northern Ireland, temperatures dipping to 15 Celsius in London and Cardiff overnight, 13 in Edinburgh and 12 in Belfast. And that's the BBC News at 5:05.
Jason, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Sarah Cox, BBC Radio 2.
And thank you very much, Mrs. Steve Wright, for what can only be described as a big, big show. It's a big show. It's a big show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to your wondrous Wednesday tea time extravaganza. Music! All those in favour say aye. Ooh, the ayes have it. Let's pass legislation making it illegal to not jiggle your bits and generally groove about for the next 2 hours, like Auntie Margaret after too many margaritas. Features, you say? Sure thing. Got a few of them, babe. Brains, ears and funny bone at the ready for all of that. Plus our very favourite bit of the show is you on 88.291. As it's the Wednesday, there's Jukebox Jam plus first and latter half hour and take your nan to the Sarahs. Plus Swin is done and hips do lie. I'm excited. Homer's excited.
Something.
Go on then.
Good